Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first cross-group game. This is the Minnesota Mamoswine Seed 1 of Group B versus the Tel Aviv Clawitzers Seed 1 of Group A. Both undefeated teams, so we'll see how how each team, goes up against this. I kind of missed the starting team intro. Looks like we have a Sun team with Clawitzer and Scrafty support. Scrafty's going to immediately fake out the Landorus as Tailwind goes up. Landorus, of course, will flinch then, and Trick Room will go up as Tailwind goes up. So yeah, the Tel Aviv Clawitzers taking advantage of that Tailwind. I have to make sure that their Pokemon are always going to be the first one to go now with that doubled speed. So a very good turn one for the Clawitzers here. See, the Minnesota Minnesota have to stall out their own Tailwind as Ninetales does go in, and Landorus gets slept as Murkrow whiffs a Sucker Punch because Scrafty did swap. Sucker Punch probably wasn't going to do much to Scrafty anyway, because it does quad resist it, but, no damage is better than some damage. So now with the sun up, this Executor is just set up to keep harvesting, doing a bunch of damage. As Overpower Wellspring comes in, and Rain Dance comes out. Gauge-Ring going to do not a ton. Heat Wave doing even less because of that rain that is now up. Successfully stalling out these turns of Trick Room, taking very little damage, but eventually you do have to get rid of the Trick Room setter. With Rain Dance being up, Ninetales will have to swap out if the Minnesota Mamoswine, if the Clawiters want to win the Weather War. Spike Shield does come out. As another Sucker Punch goes into the Protect, and Murkrow will fall asleep. So that's two Pokemon asleep now on the Mamoswine side. So they'll have to tick down the sleep turns at some point, and still like almost zero damage being done here. Eventually you have to start doing damage to get through this Trick Room, or else what's going to stop Executor from just going for another one, Turns going pretty fast as well, so yeah, I'm not surprised that it's starting to slow down now. This is definitely an important turn here. You need to get some damage onto Executor as it gets for Helping Hand. Giga Drain not picking up the KO. As Ivy Cudgel does go into the Sash Ninetales, so it will live it even in the rain. First turn of sleep on Murkrow. That's the only guaranteed sleep turn. It could wake up here. If it has like Taunt or something, that could definitely be good into Executor here. Who I'm sure is going for another Trick Room here. Yeah, if another Trick Room goes up, it's going to be really, really difficult for the Mamoswine to get through it. Because they got through the first one pretty well, but now you've taken a lot of damage and not done a ton. Yeah, you put the Ninetales to Sash, but you definitely need damage on that slower Executor here. Scrafty's going to swap back in to put back on Fake Out Pressure, and of course, Champion got a Spiky Shield as Murkrow is going to wake up, go for Sucker Punch, but yeah, Trick Room is going back up. Yeah, you needed to damage Executor there. You can't just let him get another free Trick Room up, and now Scrafty, a pretty slow Pokemon, and Executor are both in Trick Room. Sucker Punch, a very interesting choice into this team. Probably, trying to take some surprise KOs on like Raging Bolt or Ogerpon Hearthflame. Yeah, it's just not happening. Landorus going to come in for the Intimidate as Zebstrika comes in, fake out going into the Landorus slot. Giga Drain doing actually quite a bit to Zebstrika with, Zebstrika and Trick Room, not a very good Pokemon. It's really, really fast. And so yeah, these two are kind of now set to sweep as Murkrow comes out. Giga Drain doing quite a bit of damage to Landorus, and Murkrow getting its Eviolite knocked off. That's quite important as its defensive now just shot way down. Still, like, almost no damage being done on the Mamoswine side. They're trying to position around this, but eventually you just have to start going for the damage hits. If you just keep swapping around, you're just going to keep taking damage as we see here. And now, like, you got 2 turns of Trick Room. If you have Protection on your Pokemon, you need to go for it. Sucker Punch doing 38% to Executor, who's going to take the KO on Landorus. He'll push that back up. And Dream Punch doing decent damage to Murkrow, not a ton. And either Ogerpon or Zebstrika will be forced to come out here. Both very, very low. Yeah, I don't know. surprised to see anything but a spiky shield come out from Ogerpon, as this is just kind of a free KO on the Mammo on the I keep getting them mixed up. The Clawitzer side. Tailwind is going to come out as Gidrain goes into Ogerpon, and Drapunch will KO Murkrow. So Zebstrika coming out in Tailwind probably wasn't super necessary because both these Pokemon are quite slow, but you never know, could have expected a swap or something. And now you need to get rid of Exeggutor here. Honestly, you need the double KO, because even losing one Pokemon here, you've probably lost. Because that would make it a 1v4. Overheat going to go into Exeggutor. It is going to pick up the KO. Can it one-hit KO Scrafty? Yeah, play rough. Yeah, that's a very unique move to have on Ogerpon as Perthflame comes out with Ninetales support. Tailwind is still up though, so this game is not over. With the sun coming out, that Overheat is going to do more damage. Now, Terras have not come out yet, so I would not be surprised to see a Terra from the Ogerpon here to, get rid of that neutrality to fire, because I'm sure Overheat's going into it, or maybe Overheat's going into Ninetales. We'll see here. Yeah, with the sun up, your Ivy Coach wasn't going to be doing a ton of damage. You probably need a crit, and even then, I'm not sure it will kill. So, it's definitely tough for the Mamoswine at this point, but the game isn't over. Terra Water, yep, coming out for Embody Aspect. No Terra from the other Ogerpon, though, as Overheat goes into Ninetales. Ivy Coach doing 42% to Ogerpon. Yeah, you need more than that, as it will take the KO in the sun. And now it is just Zebstrika, who, unfortunately, I believe it might be locked into Overheat, as it does like to run specs. So Overheat will take out Ninetales, but I think a Ivy Cudgel will seal the game, and it will. So a bit of a rough start for the Mamoswine there, but they were able to bring it back at least a little bit. Taking their opponent down to one Pokemon. It was looking like almost a 4-0, but yeah, so that'll take us to Game 2. I do see that Indeedee and Iron Crown were left behind. I can definitely see why, because, those those fire types Iron Crown does not appreciate too much. But Indeedee, if it has like Trick Room, or I think it might get Imprison, something like that, that could stop Exeggutor from just going for those Trick Rooms. Or maybe we see that maybe Trick Room doesn't even come out this time. Yeah, there's just a lot that team can do, and it seems like the Mamoswine were a bit underprepared for Trick Room Exeggutor. It's definitely not a common strategy, but it is something you have to be wary of when Exeggutor is on the field with its Harvest, and Ninetales given its Sun. It can literally survive infinitely if you just won't have the damage for it. I'm thinking Murkrow does not have Brave Bird, because there were multiple times in that match where Brave Bird would have been nice to use, and it just didn't go for it. It went for Sucker Punch instead, so interesting choice. But I think that's some good information for the Clawitzers to have now. Yeah, and very interesting choice to leave Raging Bolt behind, but I mean, honestly, I kind of get it. You're only hitting one Pokemon super effective damage. There's 2 immunities with Zebstrika, so yeah. Indeed, yeah, it is Indeedee Iron Crown this time, as Exeggutor comes out again with Scrafty. So I guess they're going to stop the fake out that Scrafty liked so much last time. Cork Drive Special Attack. Iron Crown. Even with that, I'm not sure it actually KOs Exeggutor in one hit, and it is a bit threatened. Both Pokemon are threatened by Scrafty's knockoff here. See, you can't. I mean, Expanding Force is just not a fantastic idea here, because you have a Dark type, and a Pokemon is going to resist it. So I'm sure they get like some coverage moves, but I'm thinking that Exeggutor might be able to get another Trick Room off here. We'll see if that's the case or not. We see Protect coming from Iron Crown. That's certainly interesting. You're probably going to let them get Trick Room then. Yep, Trick Room is going to come up. I don't know the speed tiers too well, but I'm pretty sure both those Pokemon are slower than Iron Crown here. But yeah, you can't really just let Trick Room get up like that. At least this is just my opinion. I should say I do give a lot of my opinions on these videos, but it's just kind of what I'm thinking as the match goes on. Nothing against the players, but yeah. Now you have to get through these 4 turns of Trick Room. I'm going to swap to Landorus to cut Scrafty's attack. Another Sleep Powder will go into Indeedee. Knockoff is going to take out Landorus' Choice Band. That's interesting to learn. So it used to be locked moves, now it's not. Executor is 3 for 3 on sleep powders. You really want one of these to miss if you're the Mamoswine here. Executor says no. I want to hit every single one. So yeah, we did see that. Engaging was doing like about a little less than half to Landorus. So with that chip damage from Scrafty, it is going to be a 2-hit KO here. I'm going to go for the Giga Drain. Knockoff going into Indeedee, going to remove. Well, it's a Rocky Helmet, we know now. As U-Turn is going to one-hit KO Executor. Not exactly an uncommon move on Landorus, but yeah, that does make sense that it would one-shot as Ogerpon Wellspring comes in. Indeedee will wake up and reverse Trick Room as well, so definitely a very good turn for the Mamoswine here. That one turn has definitely turned this game around. Indeedee, keeping it alive with that one turn sleep. Raging Bolt will come out this time. That's been a big threat to a lot of teams recently. So we'll see what. Actually, we do know that it's play rough. Ogerpons, that'll do a lot of damage to Raging Bolt here. No Photosynthesis, although Ninetales could be in the back to give it Photosynthesis. So with the neutral damage, it probably won't one-shot Ogerpon, though I highly doubt play rough one-shots. It either Follow Me is going to come out as play rough. Can do a little over half. Thunderbolt is going to KO Indeedee, though, as Snarl comes out. Ogerpon's not going to really care about that special attack drop, but that's decent damage. Then Iron Crown coming out, probably trying to take advantage of this last turn of Psychic Terrain. I'm not going to do much to Scrafty, obviously, but I feel like it might still just KO Raging Bolt here. Ooh, it's not the fastest thing. Yeah, it's going to protect. Play Rough is going to KO Scrafty, going to force the Clawitzers to go into the last Pokemon, who is Clawitzer. It's Shiny Claw. I love Shiny Clawitzer. Such a cool looking Pokemon. Yeah, no more Psychic Terrain, though. With Indeedee gone, it's never going to be set back up. But yeah, it is now a 2v3. With Landorus in the back, they pretty much just need to clear Clawitzer here, and then Landorus can probably take down Raging Bolt faster, plus, ground move. So I wouldn't be surprised to see just a double up into Clawitzer. Now, of course, the Clawitzers could read this, just protect Clawitzer, go for some damaging move on Netanyahu over there, Mr. Neck. But yeah, honestly, I'm not sure Iron has a ton to hit Clawitzer with. Like, yeah, Expanding Force will certainly hurt, but like its steel moves are going to be not very effective. It's like Shadow Ball. It's not going to do a ton, especially if it's like AV. I can see maybe like AV Clawitzer that is used a little bit at least. We don't know where a lot of the items are because we know this Raging Bolt is not Citrus. It's not Booster Energy. We see a Terra Water coming out to get that special defense boost. As Thunderclap goes into it, yeah, you're now weak to Electric. But yeah, Hornleech going to heal most of that back up as Expanding Force goes into Raging Bolt. Muddy Water coming out. Any accuracy drops? Nope. Thunderclap does kill Ogerpon now with that Terra. But yeah, taking a lot of damage on both Pokemon here. And yeah, once again, you still have Landorus in the back you have to deal with. Like Shield going to come out as Protect from Raging Bolt comes. Expanding Force is going to go into that Protect. Muddy Water is going to get the accuracy drop. This time it is. So yeah, that's definitely what the Clawitzers needed. If Iron Crown misses a move here, that could spell the end of the game. Like if Thunderclap gets a KO, Iron Crown misses, and then its Landorus has to do a 2v1. Definitely the worst case scenario, because I mean you still have a 75% chance to hit all your moves, but that's just slightly better than Focus Blast. It's going to swap into Landorus Therian. That's an interesting move. Yeah, Thunderclap will go into it. Expanding Force is going to take the KO. Muddy Water will take the KO on both Pokemon here. But yeah, now it is Ogerpon versus Clawitzer, and I'm almost positive that Ogerpon is faster and will probably take whatever hit here. So yes, I think this will be game 2 going to the Minnesota Mamoswine. Very close game once again, but yeah, the Iron Clown lead seems to have gone much better. I gotta give MVP to Indeedee for that game, though, for waking up, reversing that Trick Room. But yeah, we do know it has Trick Room as well, so good information to know if you're Clawitzers. Clawitzers have kind of shown their entire team now. I mean, honestly, both teams have shown everything. So this is kind of a full knowledge open game now. So we'll see who can identify the best path to victory for this third game. Yeah, with both of these games down, so yeah, the Minnesota Mamoswine is the only team. Well, it's the second team actually. The Baltimore Third Choppers also took one game from the Clawitzers, but they could be the first team to actually beat the Clawitzers here. We see a Landorus lead into Ogerpon as Ninetales, and Ogerpon comes out as well. Intimidate. Ogerpon's definitely not going to like that too much, but Sun will come out. And I would say the lead definitely goes to the Mamoswine this time, even though Sun is out. You know, you have Landorus threatening. It could do like Rock Slide. It could just do a ground move into. I know it's Sash Ninetales. And this Ogerpon, even in Sun, it's not going to take a ton from the other Ogerpon, especially if it's like physically invested. It could also just go for Spiky Shield, something like that. And Ivy Cudgel's still going to definitely hurt Ninetales. It won't do a ton to the other Ogerpon, but you know, that's what Landorus is here for, which we know is Choice Band. So whatever it locks into here is going to be what it's forced to use until it switches out. I do wonder how much like a Sun boosted Ivy Cudgel does. Well, I won't know because Spiky Shield comes out from both Ogerpons. As Rock Slide does come out. Is there a flinch? No flinch, but Heat Wave does look like it misses Landorus. That's not a good miss. Well, I mean, what is a good miss? You know, you really kind of needed that damage because I mean, I don't know the role, but I'm assuming you need at least some damage on the Landorus for an Ivy Cudgel to take the KO, especially while you're intimidated. Yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate turn, but yeah, that's unfortunately a lot of start moves like to miss, and it's always when you most want them to hit, it's when they're gonna miss. From experience. Wouldn't be surprised to see a switch from either side here, because you don't want your Ninetales to go away in case Murkrow's in the back, and you don't want either your Ogerpon or your Landorus to take too much damage here. I mean, Ogerpon honestly can take some damage. Yeah, we're going to see a Terra of Fire coming out. Going to really try to take the KO as Ninetales protects. Ivy Cudgel, yep, it does take the one-hit KO on Landorus. Ivy Cudgel going into the Protect. So yeah, the Clawitzers getting that KO. Now they are weak to Ogerpon. It's kind of confusing with two Ogerpon. The Wellspring Ogerpon. They're not weak to it. But I feel like that was still definitely a good Terra to make sure you get that KO on Landorus, who is threatening if, you know, Mr. Netanyahu, the Raging Bolt, if he's in the back, that's definitely like the main threat besides Zebstrika, who could also be in the back here. Now Murkrow could just go for Rain Dance here, as we see a Terra Water from the Ogerpon. Not going to go for Rain Dance, going to go for Tailwind instead, but yeah, it's going to allow the Ogerpon to live as the Ivy Cudgels, which does pick up the one-hit KO on Murkrow, putting it to a 4v2 as Zebstrika is the last one. So both Pokemon in danger of being KO'd here. We know this Zebstrika is running Overheat. But we also know it's probably choice specs, so do you really want to lock into Overheat, depending on what's in the back? Like Clawitzer and Raging Bolt can both take an Overheat very well, but like you also really can't let Trick Room go up, so I wouldn't be surprised to see an Overheat, but it'd be very easily predicted. Yeah, Ogerpon Hearthflame just showing how much damage that thing does, KOing Landorus and Murkrow in one hit. Now, you know, of course, Sun is boosting it, but that's just so much damage. And, you know, showing your only really resistance to that damage, and Ogerpon is already on the field, so it was just kind of free to click that. But we do also see that the Wellspring Ogerpon is faster than the Hearthflame Ogerpon. I'm not sure if that's just a speed tie, or... Oh wait, wasn't that under Tailwind? Ignore me. Tailwind, you know, a double-speeded Ogerpon would probably outspeed a not Tailwinded Ogerpon. That would make sense, you know? But yeah, this is definitely the trend that's going to decide the game here. Overheat is going to go into Executor to pick up the KO. Locked into Overheat now. Yep, it is just going to be a double KO as Ivy Cudgel goes in, making it a 2v2. 1 turn of Sun, 2 turns of Tailwind. As Ninetales and Scrafty is the last one to hit the field, though. It's not Clawitzer or Raging Bolt, so that Overheat is actually really good choice to lock into. Like, you can definitely KO Ninetales here. Now, yeah, it's just going to be Fake Out. So Overheat is going to KO Ninetales, though, and yeah, now it's a 2v1. I'd like to bet that Scrafty can do it, but I'm a little concerned. It has Intimidated, but of course, Ivy Cudgel does have the higher crit chance, so that could just not matter. Oh, and it has Play Rough. Well, no Terra, I don't. Oh no, the Terra did come out from. Oh no, yeah, you need to one-shot Ogerpon here, and it's faster. Yeah. Oh my gosh, wait. It lived, and it's gonna knock off the choice specs of Substrika. But yeah, that Play Rough, it's faster than you. I think you almost had to go for Ogerpon, just like pray that it crit or something, like an uber crit. We're doing 5% as Play Rough does go into it, and it's going to take the KO, meaning that the Minnesota Mamoswine have won the match and are the first team to defeat the Tel Aviv Clawitzers. So congratulations, Minnesota Mamoswine. 2-1.